Forest Focus, a glimpse into forestry topics of current interest, presented by Natural Resources Canada, Great Lakes Forestry Centre, and the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources, a progressive partnership in forestry. The boreal forest is found around the world's northern hemisphere. Currently, there is an international effort to accurately map the boreal forest across the globe. The Canadian Forest Service is actively involved in this initiative. Within Canada, the boreal forest covers more than 307 million hectares. Ontario's portion of the boreal forest extends from the northern limits of the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Forest to the Hudson Bay lowlands. With an area of 50 million hectares, this forest region contains 2/3 of Ontario's forest.
Canada's boreal forest is the largest ecosystem in Canada, and it covers a wide area within the country, touching most provinces and territories in Canada. So the boreal forest provides a number of products that support the Canadian economy and provide products for Canadians and for export markets. Traditionally, we think of things like wood products that would be used for the manufacture of houses or furniture or other items like that. We're also familiar with the paper products that would be derived from our forests as well, paper for newspapers, magazines, and personal care products. More recently, technology has developed now that we're also deriving products that are used in the manufacturing of automobile parts, for example, or also for chemicals or other compounds that might be used in the pharmaceutical or nutraceutical industry as well. Canada's forests, and specifically the boreal forest, is managed sustainably in the sense that as we harvest timber or trees from the forest, we do it in such a way to protect the environment that exists in the forest. That is, providing ecosystems for animals, other plants, for birds, insects, whatever might exist in those ecosystems. We also are cognizant of the fact that the forests are there for future generations. Therefore, we want to manage the forests in such a way that they will regenerate and provide not only the products from the forest that will be required in the future, but also the ecosystems, goods and services, and the recreational opportunities that are available to people today from our forests.
Forest practices in Ontario are regulated by the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources and are guided by the best available science and information.
So the Ministry of Natural Resources has overall responsibility for the sustainable management of Ontario's forests. We have some really great scientists that work on this, and we work in collaboration with scientists at the Canadian Forest Service. We try to incorporate the latest science into our policies to ensure that those forests are managed sustainable.
The Canadian Forestry Service is internationally renowned for its scientific research on the boreal forest.
The Canadian Forest Service conducts research examining various aspects of the boreal forest. We are doing research which examines the impact of insect infestation in the forest and looking at ways of controlling those insects in an environmentally friendly manner. We are looking at both native insects that have existed in this country for generations, as well as insects that might enter the country from other sources. We're also doing research on fire impacts, for example, and looking at ways of understanding how fires occur within our forests and how we can mitigate the impact of those fires. We are also conducting research at the Canadian Forest Service looking at the impact of forest management or forest timber harvesting and how we can minimize the impact on forest ecosystems in order to protect the animals, plants, and other living things that exist in that forest. We are also looking at the impact of climate change and how that is going to affect forests in the near term and well into the future, and how our forests are going to adapt.
Ontario's forest management policies and practices ensure that Ontario's forest ecosystems are managed sustainably, balancing environmental, social, and economic needs.
Ontario has a world-class forestry framework based on some fairly new legislation called the Crown Forest Sustainability Act. Part of that incorporates an independent forest audit on every forest every 5 years. With this framework that we have in place, companies have been able to get over 80% of the land certified to independent third-party standards to help them gain market access. So part of the forest management planning framework is about getting public input into the development of a forest management plan. So our regulations require us to formally go out to the public and find out what their concerns are and what their interests are in the forest, and make sure that we protect those interests in the development of forest management plans. In addition to that, we ensure that Aboriginal values are taken into consideration in the development plans, and there's a comprehensive engagement process set out in our planning manual for ensuring that we have all of this input into the development of the plans.